Well, hello everybody. Ed Parcaut here with Francisco Ruvalcaba.
How you doing?
Doing good, man. Having a good week.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
staying
mean
busy.
it's already Thursday, and thanks for referring people to me that you do. I don't think I ever tell you.
No,
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Same to you. Got to help each other.
So it's about
Yeah.
it,
It's picking up.
yeah. Well, of course it's picking up. It's going to pick up.
Yeah.
It's people are pent up demand trying to get into homes. They've a lot of buyers been waiting for the last 5 months for a 3% that's not going to be here, but it's still time to buy because the house people are coming out. We're back. We're almost back to where it was pre the downturn that we had. Downturn meaning the rates went up a little bit and things slowed down for a little bit.
Yeah. It was like November, right? Like end of
Well,
October.
other states it started in June, and I didn't start seeing it until October.
Yeah. So that's what I tell my clients too, is because from October, and I mean I'm a top producer in my office, and I work every day. Like I work, and
I don't work Sundays, by the way, people.
well, I do because I
Young.
need to.
You're young. It's okay.
Yeah, no, and that's and
You have no kids yet that you know of.
yeah, no, but yeah. So from October, right, until I want to say January, I didn't have an escrow like that whole time, right? Like that crazy downturn, and then now, I mean, I just like closed 2 last week. I like 4 or something like that in escrow, and it's all picking up again. It's getting really busy, and it was like in the snap of a finger, like that. I just started getting super busy again, and I'm super grateful for it. But it's just funny because during that whole time, that period, so many good deals could have been made,
Yeah.
And now it's like it's they're all going away. I mean, prices, everyone was like, oh, I'm waiting for the prices to go down. I'm like, no, like they've already adjusted. They are not going anywhere.
Yeah. Waiting for rates, waiting for values to go down. Two things that aren't going to happen right away. So don't be waiting. You need to get into contract. Yeah. I mean, if you go back, it's what we were saying for 4 months. Everybody thought we were crazy. This is not a good time to buy. We're going to have a bubble. The only bubble is opportunity bubble that went away.
Yeah.
And the smart people were buying, investors were buying, other people have bought, and they just realized they're going to adjust their payment later. Yeah. Could be a year, could be 2 years, could be 5 years. We don't know what that is. Right.
Yeah. And on the way here too, I was on the phone with another lender I'm currently working
with.
What? I'm not cheating on you.
Damn.
No, it's a whole nother one. But yeah, no, I'm talking to him, and it's funny because I brought up, how you coined also the opportunity bubble, and like it's so funny because it's ironic, like it's super ironic because, and like I told everybody, how hypocritical as well to be bashing on the market and saying that things are going to come crashing and things are going to come falling, and it's like boom, $300 million, right? We're going to give out to everybody. The caveat being that we want the appreciation.
That's right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just,
now you know how the government works there, Francisco. You've finally grown up.
It's like, it's just, it's mind-boggling too that, I mean, you see all these signs and everything, but people still just don't react to it. Like we're just, it's very slow,
State of California knew that if they wanted to get they got their hands in a couple of years ago into retirement accounts, right, with the state mandated IRA, and then now they're getting involved with appreciation on homes in order to use this stuff for other programs. Now they say the money's going to come back in, so they can do it again. Well, when's that going to happen if people aren't going to refinance these or do anything for at least 5 years? So in 5 more years from now, 7 more years from now, when we still don't have enough houses and the values go through the roof, how are you going to help at that point? They're going to go, well, you know what? We tried this program and we just don't think it's coming back. So we just made, this amount of millions of dollars.
No. And I mean, it's a lot of money.
Yeah. It's taxpayer, where the money came from? Taxpayers.
Yeah. What's 20% of 300 million? I'm really bad at math.
Let's see. 10% of 300 million would be 30 million. Huh. 60 million.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, and that's
off of just what it is now. No appreciation, dude. It's got to appreciate. Yeah. So that's why I said, in order to get rid of that program, your house has to appreciate 40% to go to 80% LTV with no MI, right? And then, so that's a lot of appreciation, and they get that off of that 40%. So they're going to make, so I figure there's like, let's just say 500 loans, right? I don't know if my calculator working here because of the lights. 500 times average $25,000. That's 12.5 million.
Yeah. That's
plus the money back.
You know, and that's like,
I can't be right. Keep going.
Well, you know, and even, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like you're saying, right? Like, to eventually actually get yourself out of it, you know, you need like 40% appreciation. Like, how fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, and that's where I try telling people, you know, if you're going to use this loan, plan to stay there for, I mean, at least 3 to 5 years.
Right. Well, that I'm just saying, most of these people are going to make more. The state's going to take more than 20%. I mean, 20% of 500 of 6. So they're like, whatever the appreciation is, they take 20% of the appreciation. So if it goes up $100,000, they take $25,000. Right. But that's to say that every house is only going to appreciate that amount. Right. That's only 5% a year. I guarantee you this year alone, we're going to go up 20 some percent again. And next year and the next year. And because of look at the demand for house. We have hardly any houses on the market. And if we keep going down this road, we only 161,000 homes in the state of California. People are going to go, I'm done. I'm moving. And then we're going to go, oh, we get the house. No, I was renting.
Yeah. You also look at like, a lot of the places that are building, right? And like a lot of them are stopping because they're just demanding such high prices. And I mean, granted, I think they have to ask those high prices because of the cost of building and everything. But like they're taking deals right now. Like I'm helping out a client. Hopefully, I'm gonna be taking them on Wednesday. And I mean, a $640,000 brand new house, and the offer that we're gonna try to submit is gonna be around like 600. So, you know, there's that.
Yeah, but wait, don't wait too long.
Oh yeah, I mean,
before you know it, because price points, we're still, you know, FHA and below, 517 and below is crazy, right? Yeah. Ridiculously crazy. But so is 726, 500. It's 3% down if you got the FICO score.
Yeah. And even, well, like with those new homes too, though, it's just they all start out so high because even in like Tracy and Lathrop, you know,
those are gonna be just the names alone going to cost $200,000.
Well, even then, like there, I've been seeing like $100,000, $200,000 drops, and that's what I tell people is that is a great opportunity. And as we get closer to the end of this year, you know, that potential to have that kind of increase isn't going to be there anymore.
No, because what's happening right now is they have had those stock ready to go. They have to get their money out of it so they can start building the other ones they want to build. It's all about, that's what's happening in Las Vegas for the last 6 months is they're giving amazing deals on these homes because they need their money out of it so they can get them ready to get built on the next set that they need to build. So it's not that the values actually dropped on those. It's just the price point that cost them for the windows, the doors, everything was so much more costly that they had to adjust their values, you know, during the contract. And a lot of people walked. Yeah. And so they're sitting. So they're going to take a deal, which normally wouldn't take.
Right. And then, but it's just literally all it is a buffer period, right?
Oh, it's going to be gone in a few months.
Yeah.
We're like, think about how fast we went from no offer, you know, 1 or 2 off or 0 to 1 offer to 14 offers. Yeah. It's like overnight.
But yeah. And that's why it's like, I'm telling everybody is brace yourselves and don't stop looking on the market because I mean, yes, in the matter of a few days, we could see the rates somewhere at around 5%. And that will bring a lot of people back into the market.
Right. I mean, so somebody else was looking at, and they were saying how a buyer, I think I said this already, but like they're waiting for a 3%. The guy's like, you're never going to see that in your lifetime.
No.
And if we did, that means there's an issue, right?
Yes.
We're in this huge recession and we don't have unemployment rate of 3.5 or 4%. We have an unemployment rate of 8 or 9. And then nobody can, you know, there's still a ton of people who can take advantage of the low rates and go do stuff, but there's going to be a lot of people out of work. So we don't really want that. We want a 4 to 5% interest rate. That means everything's healthy. Yeah. That's a standard average rate. No one had a problem with an 18 and 19.
Yeah. Well, I mean, granted, I understand the argument, right? That in 1819, you could buy a house, right? For like 300, 350. That was actually in good condition. But that's why, again, we stress to not wait. That's why every single time I tell everybody, as soon as you can buy, do it. And if you're comfortable, do it, because it just gets harder, right? I mean, back then, if you were making 60 to 70K, you could actually buy a house.
No, technically yes, but not really. Depends.
Like, well, I mean, when you compare it to like now, where it's like a flat, like if you're not making like
80
90
to 100,
yeah, like good luck, right? And that's getting you into an entry level home. So it's only going to get more and more unobtainable because, again, our inventory is the biggest piece that we cannot change. Like the demand of housing just continues rising, and there's always that cycle, right? Obviously, I know that there has to be tenants in order to make everything all function right, but don't get stuck in that loop. Don't be the tenant. Try to be the owner,
right?
And it's funny, it's because I always tell everyone, and I had a conversation with someone who was like, oh well, I'm looking to buy. I think I talked about this actually on one of the other episodes, but he's like, oh, I'm thinking about buying. My aunt's a realtor, and she tells me that I should wait till the end of the year. And I'm like, why? Why is she telling you that? And he's like, well, it's because she believes that the rates are going to drop. And I was like, yes, they will. But why do you think it's a benefit to wait? He's like, well, because I'll have a lower payment.
No, you won't.
No, you're going to be, at the same, and you're going to miss out on the equity that you could have built. So, and it's funny. I mean, at the end of the day, like one of the just simplest shutdowns of that, it's just kind of like, I mean, when have you ever heard a homeowner say, man, I wish I was renting here, right?
I wish I would have waited.
Yeah, I should have.
Maybe in 2007.
Man, I should have waited these 2 years for these rates to drop. Then I would have been in a better spot. Like, no, you never hear that. And again, I mean, we always kind of do talk about how it seems like most of the people that discourage you for some reason is like family and, the news and the media, right?
Well, the family, and they don't even own a home.
Yeah. And that's the biggest part of it.
Don't listen to anybody who doesn't own a home. That's like raising kids. Don't listen to anybody who haven't had any kids.
Yeah. Getting advice from someone who just has like dogs or something.
No, I'm just saying, it's like, unless you've had kids and a bunch of them, don't even give me advice. And you don't give advice on kids, child rearing, politics, religion. Those are things you're not supposed to talk about at parties that everybody talks about. And then people get upset. But
yeah, those are
in my book, the first part of it says a $70,000 mistake. And that's what happened. A lady didn't act. And then a year later, she couldn't afford that house because it went up $70,000 in value.
It's a sad truth.
And she couldn't afford it. And then now she's renting, and she can barely even rent in the areas she's at where she could have owned it. And people don't realize that's what happens when you don't have that. When you have that opportunity, you really have to jump on it. Yes. And I'm afraid with the one client we have that with what he did by backing out of the contract he backed out of with the money from the closing costs and everything, he's going to come in and he won't buy because he can never get that payment to what the payment he wanted when we could have done it already.
No, I feel for him. And that's where, and again, I mean, and I went back to him and I really made an effort to help him understand. Right.
Right. So did I.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that, it's harsh because I mean, I've had other clients, it's the same thing, and you don't want to be the one to say, I told you so. Right. But it's just, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Right. I'm still pretty optimistic. I feel,
you go do that. You help him out. I'm here for him, but I'm just saying that's just a major challenge. Yeah. I mean, how much further you're willing to drive now? Not that far. That's the other thing is like, you have to be willing to maybe county it, go out further, Waterford, whatever, but they're not going to want to make that drive.
Mm-hmm. They need to act quick. Right. I think, and I've been talking to him, and I think we're going to be seeing some more houses and stuff pretty soon. So at least he has the eagerness, but yes, that's, and I've had those conversations, those tough conversations where I tell someone like, and I'm breaking it down. I'm like, look, maybe you haven't thought it through completely, but there's probably a lot of things that you're spending your money on that you don't need to be spending your money on. Right. And I don't like to have that conversation a lot of times because, it's your money. You do whatever you want with it.
Right.
But
Dave Ramsey has that conversation all the time with people.
Yeah.
So he's a professional. You should be a professional and tell him, hey, I'm young like you, and this is what I spent my money on, a house.
I mean, and that's what I told him. I mean, and granted, I buy dumb stuff too.
We all do.
Yeah, but it's funny because when I bought a house, I stopped it. I used to have Amazon packages at my house every day, the stupidest things you could think of, like a freaking.
We can move on, dude.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just that at the end of the day, there's a lot of little things that you can tweak in your life that can make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the times people don't see that part of it, but you can.
Stop eating out.
Yeah.
That's so expensive these days. It's so expensive.
I mean, even just driving to the restaurant or whatever it is, just stay at home, go work, get home, have your groceries, and pick up those kinds of things. And I mean, we were even kind of talking about maybe, like, I know of some people who like straight up started little side jobs, right? Or like a little, like a hobby that they can kind of make money off of, whatever it may be.
You become an Amazon seller. There's so many things you could do, make money. We can't use it for your income, but you can use it to help offset your stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
There's so much you can do. So many side hustles.
Yeah. Or, whatever it may be.
5 to 9 job.
Yeah. And
I'm not talking going to work at fast food or whatever for a 5 to 9 job. I'm talking like go do something that's going to make you some money.
Right. I think that's the big piece
or just go get a better job.
Yeah.
How about that? There's supposedly 9 million jobs out there. Why don't you go look? They've actually gotten rid of some educational requirements for certain jobs. They're supposed to have them. And what I don't mean like airplane pilot, but I'm talking like regular, we want a bachelor's or whatever for this. They've kind of got away with some of those just to get people in because they need them.
Yeah, no, there's a demand. And that's where it is interesting, right? Because you see the unemployment rate, but then there's all these jobs.
We have a lot of jobs sitting there because a lot of people doing other things than going to regular jobs.
Right. Well, and we were even talking also considering like working with somebody and saying, hey, I'll rent out this room to you or something, right? I'm doing it. I rent out a bedroom in my like main house.
On top of the other
unit that I rent out. Yeah. So I rent out a unit and a bedroom.
Yeah.
I used to rent out 2 bedrooms, but rent got a little pricey for one of them. So it's kind of like, that's you have to get creative, and there's ways to do it. You just need to have the will.
There you go. We're going to leave it at that. Have the will to move forward. And you're worried about the opportunity. You're worried about what's going on in the market. You're worried about what's rates going to do. You're worried about what value is going to do, but you can't be worried about that. You need to find a place, make it your own, and just move forward and have that, because the opportunity that's here right now is going to be gone before we know it, to where most people will not be able to afford. Think about it. If it's right now in Modesto or this Stanislaus County, you need just say 70 to 100 grand to get into an entry level. Well, if the values keep going up over the next 5 years, that's going to be 150,000 to 200,000.
Yeah. We're going to.
So then that means the average people are going to rent forever.
And that's what we've been forewarning everyone about. And that's what these big $1 million corporations that are buying out all these houses have been plotting. And it's happening. And we're letting it happen. And
I don't think they're plotting. They're just seeing the opportunity that other people don't see.
Right.
But you can call them plotting. That's okay.
Well, I mean, in the sense of what I mean is plotting is the plan of never selling, right?
Yeah, you're gonna see Pottersvilles everywhere. That's It's a Wonderful Life. You've probably never seen it, but the movie that's during Christmas time.
No.
Yeah, it's an old black and white movie that most people would ever watch, and it's called It's a Wonderful Life. And Potter is the guy who owns so much of these rentals. And it's called Pottersville because he doesn't take good care of them. And there's Mr. Bailey, who runs Bailey Savings and Loan, that rents out, helps people buy houses and gets them into the homes and everything. It's a great thing. But you have the Pottersville people of the world who are trying to get everybody to be a renter. And that's what we have right now. We have a lot of companies who want to be Pottersvilles.
Yep.
Not necessarily the same, not taking care of the houses, but that's what they want. People in there renting them so that they have passive income forever.
Yep. And those rents keep rising every year.
And more people come here. So, and that could be one of the reasons the border's open, is to bring so many millions of people here to mess that whole market up. I guess they're conspiracy now. All right. Make it a great day before we're here forever. Thank you again, Francisco, for coming into the studio.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. Everybody, make it a great day. Reach out to us. I'm Ed Parcaut everywhere. And Francisco Ruvalcaba, you can get at 209-493-2400. Make it a great day.